Hello everybody and welcome to BB&T Field in Winston-Salem, North Carolina for week 1 of the 2019 college football season. Your Demon Deacons play host to the FCS West Fusion in what should be on paper and in everyone's minds an easy game for Wake Forest. However, nothing comes easy, even though last time out Wake Forest played an FCS team. They won 56-10 at home. So with that said, we are happy and honored that you could join us here in a rainy Winston-Salem afternoon to see your Demon Deacons hopefully go 1-0 on the new year. For Wake Forest, it's a new quarterback and it's all the same core pieces. You got to start with Wayne Haynes and then work your way down from there. But it should be a fun year. Let's see if the Demon Deacons can win the ACC Atlantic Conference title, something that has eluded them the past 2 years, both times to the Clemson Tigers. So without further ado, welcome to BB&T Field, and let's have ourselves a good year in Wake Forest football. We'll start with 6.5 to play here in the first quarter. After a 3-and-out by Wake Forest, their defense would show up early. Anthony Johnson, special teams, would punt it down to the 4, and then a 1-yard gain by FCS West halfback. Although that wasn't all Wake Forest defense would let up. Right there, Richie Jones for FCS West Fusion. He gets sacked and tackled for loss by Chris Bird. The Birdman flying through the offensive line on that play. And then, third time's the charm, 3rd and 14, Josh Franklin with a safety to begin the football year for Wake Forest. The first time ever that's happened. And after that, Wake Forest would tack on a field goal to make it 5-0. Let's go through the update. First 2 games of the new year, it's a big one. Alabama, Georgia Tech, 3-1. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets defeat the Alabama Crimson Tide. And then BYU and Virginia, BYU takes it by 7. So, already one big upset. We'll see if we have any more the rest of today. Back to our game. It's a baseball score right now. 5-0 Wake Forest up over a Division I school. Minute and a half to play in the first quarter. And now maybe the West found some chemistry. Bryant Munoz right there for a first down. And then Richie Jones, unfortunately, would hold the ball too long. So whatever chemistry they had working, it is already gone. But it's a long game. Let's see if they can rebound. That one, yeah, straight up the middle. You're not going to protect that. Jones, 3-step drop. 3rd and 15. Double coverage. That is caught by John Nicholson, the exceptional wide receiver out of Division I. And he has the Fusion a new set of chains. Nicholson again back-to-back plays, 13-yard reception, and after the end of the first quarter here in Winston-Salem on a rainy night, Wake Forest up 5-0 over the FCS West Fusion, but the Fusion are driving. 9:40 to play in the second quarter. It's a toss to Munoz, and Munoz would go untouched until the 1, but he uses his power on the sleepy Wake Forest secondary right there. And the West have taken over the East so far. FCS West Fusion up 6-5. They tack on the PAT, and now they're up 7-5. Wake Forest will go 3-0, and so far, Demon Deacons haven't looked good. They have not looked good at all. 3 minutes to play now. This is Richie Jones. He would go a long way, but he'd be run out of bounds. Good play there by the Wake Forest secondary to force him out. But the Fusion are driving once again. 7-5. This one, Reynolds somehow it's caught with tight defense. And the Fusion from the 5. That is another touchdown for the Fusion. Ryan Humphrey, the halfback, the backup halfback, on a receiving play, actually the fullback, on a receiving play. He doesn't look like it, but on the depth chart he is. He breaks 2 Demon Deacon tackles, and the Fusion are up 14-5 at half. Tale of two stories. Wake Forest, question marks across the board. You're not supposed to be losing to an FCS team. You're not supposed to have 5 points at half. You weren't supposed to get a safety. But the offense is lacking with a new quarterback. The defense, for better of terms, is lacking against a Division I school. And on the other side, FCS West. Give them credit. They've done everything right so far except for that first possession. But put that by the wayside. They've played perfect. So it could be a lot worse for Wake Forest, but there's still another half of football to go. And you're in front of your home crowd. Don't forget that. They will give you support. You just have to play to your style of football. And for Wake Forest, that means one thing. Give it to the man that led you to the first bowl victory ever in this dynasty, Wayne Haynes. He's a redshirted senior. This is his final year. Give that man the rock. He will do what he needs to do that is necessary to provide you with wins, just like he did last year. There's your halftime stats. The only turnover by Wake Forest was the interception on the 2-yard line when they were about to punch it in right before half, but Wayne Haynes caught up to the defender and it stopped him. So second half action, first possession for Wake Forest. Richie Miles. We talked about player style. Guess what? That's a good one. Ryan Caldwell beat his man by 10 yards. And even though Richie Miles got nailed as he threw it, they used Wayne Haynes on that drive. And then they ended up throwing it. Touchdown Wake Forest. It's a one-score game. Studio update. Second one of the day. Georgia, South Carolina. 19-4. And Georgia, they are currently winning. They would go end up winning. They would end up to win, is what I'm trying to say. So two big upsets, Georgia Tech and now Georgia. So the Georgia State is loving their football so far. However, back to our game, West, they go 3 and out, and Wayne Haynes doing what he did all year long, all season long last year, and even in freshman year for Wake Forest. Breaks one, goes past 3 Fusion defenders, a little spin move for the icing on the cake, and after 3, the Demon Deacons are finally on top for the first time since the beginning of the game, 18-14. However, the Fusion would not lay down quietly. They would quickly drive the length of the field, and with 9:40 to go here in the final quarter of play in regulation, now it's time for the Fusion to do something. Richie Jones, their Richie Rich quarterback, he takes them down inside the 10, and from the 10, Jones once again quarterback keeper, untouched, touchdown Fusion, 21-21. Wake Forest would add a field goal. It would take 4 minutes. And then the Fusion would go 3 and out off an Eric Byers tip drill that almost got intercepted. Speaking of Eric Byers, there he is again making the same play. False start and an incompletion pins the Fusion to a 2nd and 15. Jones calls his own number. It gets 2, but it's a 3rd and a mile conversion now. Wake Forest trying to pump up their fans. They need them. Jones. Wild throw, and it'll be Demon Deacons ball. And like we said at half, give the man the rock that you trust the most. And for Wake Forest, that can only mean one thing: Wayne Haynes. Right here, up the middle of the field, first down, and more importantly, that clock will continue to chew up time. Less and less time is being preserved for the Fusion. Give FCS credit. They've hung in there all day long. But when it comes down to it, raw talent and strategy and just the team overall, also the home fans help a little. You're going to have a hard team when you're a Division I team. And right now they're learning the ways of Wayne Haynes. Currently, I know it's week 2, but the Heisman leader. 3rd and 3, big 3rd down. If they don't convert, we could have a problem. Unfortunately, for the Fusion, Wayne Haynes is the problem, not the third down conversion. And from there, Adam King is nothing but royalty. He's part of the royal family here in Winston-Salem. And if he graduates with Wake Forest, I can say nothing but good things about him. He kicks it through the uprights for the win. And Wake Forest, at home, in the rain, against a Division I football team, they come out on top. However, you take the good with the bad. The good, obviously, being the performance here today in the comeback. Down 9.5 to win by 3. The bad, if this is any indication of how the Deeks are going to play the rest of the year, we're going to have a problem. Next week, it's at Indiana. We hope to see you there, Demon Deacon fans. Hashtag Go Deeks. They're 1-0.